Every star in the galaxy hides a secret, but some are better left undiscovered. Captain Elyss Rendar's voice carried through the Ecliptica's command deck, drawing the attention of every crew member. On the main view screen, the anomaly loomed, a vortex of light and shadow twisting in the void, pulling debris and light alike into its depths. Among the crew stood Sci-Fi, a towering alien from the nomadic Vynari collective. His bioluminescent markings pulsed faintly, a reflection of his unease. The Vynari were renowned explorers, their entire species dedicated to charting the unknown reaches of the cosmos. Sci-Fi had seen countless wonders, but even he seemed unsettled by the anomaly before them. "This is no natural phenomenon," he said, his deep, resonant voice reverberating through the room. His four limbs moved gracefully as he adjusted the holographic display with a flick of his clawed hands. "The patterns of energy suggest intent. This was created." Elyss didn't respond immediately. Her focus remained fixed on the anomaly, its eerie hum resonating faintly through the ship's hull. For 10 years, the signal that had led her here had haunted her dreams, its strange rhythm seared into her thoughts. What kind of mind? And create something like that? First Officer Jorath asked, his tone edged with skepticism. Sci-Fi tilted his elongated head. "The kind that wants to control what lies beyond its grasp." Elyss turned to him sharply. "And what about the signal? The one only this ship can hear. Why is it calling us?" Jorath interrupted, his voice firm. "The better question, Captain, is whether we should answer at all." Before Elyss could reply, the ship's sensors flared, throwing the room into a cacophony of alarms. Navigator Kira called out, her voice tight with urgency. "Massive energy surge detected. The anomaly is destabilizing." As the Ecliptica drew closer, the swirling void shifted, revealing something within, a colossal structure pulsating with light. Sci-Fi stepped forward, his luminous markings flaring brighter. "I have seen ruins of this kind before," he said, his voice tinged with both awe and dread. "They were warnings." Elyss's gaze hardened. "This isn't a warning. It's an invitation." The Ecliptica drifted closer to the anomaly, its hull creaking under the increasing gravitational fluctuations. Captain Elyss Rendar kept her gaze fixed on the colossal structure within the swirling void, her hands clenched tightly behind her back. This isn't possible," Navigator Kira murmured, her voice barely audible. The structure was impossibly massive, its surface pulsating with a strange rhythmic glow. Jagged spires jutted out at odd angles, as though the construct itself defied the natural order. "It's not just a construct," Sci-Fi said, his bioluminescent markings dimming to a dull blue, a sign of growing unease. "It's alive, or at least it was." Elyss turned to face him. "Alive? What does that mean exactly?" Sci-Fi extended one of his clawed hands, manipulating the holographic display. The energy signatures match those of a living organism, but they're decayed, fragmented. This structure isn't just a relic, it's a corpse, a remnant of something far beyond our understanding. Before Elyss could respond, an ominous vibration rippled through the ship. The anomaly's swirling pattern shifted, tightening, around the structure as if reacting to the Ecliptica's presence. "Energy levels spiking again," Kira shouted, her hands flying across the console. "We need to stabilize our position or we'll be pulled in." "Do it," Elyss ordered, her voice calm despite the chaos. "Hold us steady." The vibration subsided slightly, but the air on the bridge remained tense. Jorath stepped closer to Elyss, lowering his voice. "Captain, if this thing is what he says it is, we shouldn't be here. The risk is exactly why we need to stay," Elyss interrupted. Her eyes burned with a fierce determination. "Whatever this is, it's been waiting, and it didn't just call to us, it called to me." Sci-Fi tilted his head, his markings flickering uncertainly. If it called you, then perhaps you are already part of its design. The room fell silent. Outside, the anomaly began to pulse, its rhythm perfectly synchronized with the glow of the massive structure. Before we dive deeper into the mysteries of the Whispering Veil, take a moment to join our journey through the stars. If you're captivated by the tension, the characters, and the unknown, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support fuels our exploration into the vast unknown, so let's uncover the secrets of the galaxy together. The pulse emanating from the anomaly grew stronger, reverberating through the Ecliptica's systems. Lights flickered and consoles momentarily dimmed before stabilizing. Captain Elyss Rendar gripped the edge of her command chair, her mind racing as she stared at the rhythmic glow outside the viewport. "Report!" she barked. Kira's fingers danced across her console. "The anomaly is emitting a low-frequency signal." "No, wait. It's more than that. It's a message, Captain. It's trying to communicate." Santheric stepped forward, his bioluminescence shifting to a cautious green. "If it's a message, then you mustn't respond." The Vynari once encountered something similar, a construct buried in the dust fields of Zorath 9. It transmitted signals like these. "Drawing us in, we thought it was a beacon of knowledge." He paused, his voice lowering, but it was a trap, a lure to feed on those who approached. Elyss's jaw tightened, her eyes narrowing as she processed his words. "And yet, you're standing here. What happened?" Santheric hesitated. "We survived barely, but we lost an entire fleet. Thousands of lives devoured by something we could neither see nor understand." The bridge fell silent, save for the persistent hum of the anomaly. Jorath broke the tension. "Captain, we should leave. Now. We've seen enough." "No," Elyss said firmly, her voice cutting through the rising fear. "We came here for answers. If this thing wants to communicate, we'll listen. But on our terms." Kira's console beeped urgently. "The signal's increasing in intensity. It's targeting us specifically." Elyss leaned forward, her heart pounding. "Targeting? Us how?" "It's locking onto our neural patterns," Kira said, her voice trembling. "The pulse. It's synced to your brainwaves, Captain." Santheric's markings flared a warning red. "Captain, if it has entered your mind, we may already be too late." Elyss stood, her expression resolute. "Then let's find out what it wants." As the bridge lights dimmed again, the anomaly pulsed brighter, the rhythmic signal now unmistakably a voice, alien, ancient, and impossibly close. The voice echoed through the Ecliptica, resonating within the walls and the minds of everyone aboard. It wasn't a language, not in the conventional sense, but a series of layered impressions. Images, emotions, and sounds merging into a singular, overwhelming presence. Elyss staggered back, clutching the edge of her command console. Her vision blurred as fragments of alien memories flooded her mind. Planets crumbling into stardust, civilizations rising and falling, and a vast, shadowy force consuming everything in its path. "It's showing me something," Elyss said, her voice strained. Jorath rushed to her side, steadying her. "Captain, you need to pull back. Whatever it's doing, it's trying to get inside your head." But Santheric stepped closer, his bioluminescent markings a flickering yellow. "No, it's not attacking her. It's sharing its purpose." He turned to Elyss, his voice solemn. "What do you see?" Elyss took a shuddering breath. "A warning. It's warning us about something ancient." The anomaly pulsed again, and the ship trembled violently. Systems flickered, alarms blared, and the crew struggled to maintain their balance. "Captain!" Kira shouted. "The anomaly's energy field is destabilizing. If we stay here, we'll be torn apart." Elyss snapped back into focus, gripping Jorath's arm for support. "Can we pull back without losing contact with the signal?" I can attempt to recalibrate our shields to withstand the flux, Kira said, her hands flying over her console. But it's a gamble. Do it, Elyss ordered. She turned to Santharik, who watched her with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. You said your people encountered something like this before. What did it want? Santharik's markings dimmed to a dark, foreboding blue. It wanted survival, at any cost. The anomaly's pulsing grew erratic, the rhythmic signal transforming into a cacophony of emotions, desperation, fear, and an overwhelming sense of urgency. It's accelerating, Kira said, her voice rising in panic. Whatever it's trying to do, it's happening now. Elyss's gaze hardened. Then we'll meet it head-on. Kira, hold us steady. Santharik, analyze that signal. If this thing wants survival, we need to know why, and what it's willing to sacrifice to get it. As the Ecliptica braced, against the storm of energy, Elyss felt the presence intensify in her mind, a single, chilling thought crystallizing amidst the chaos. You are the key. The Ecliptica groaned as the gravitational forces from the anomaly tightened their grip. Sparks flew from an overloaded console, and the lights on the bridge dimmed again, casting the room in a flickering, eerie glow. Shields at 47%. Kira shouted over the chaos. We can't hold this position much longer. Elyss ignored the alarms, her focus locked on the view ahead. The colossal structure within the anomaly pulsed erratically, its once rhythmic glow now a chaotic strobe. The signal in her mind grew stronger, its impressions clearer. Words began to form from the cacophony. Activate, protect, ascend. What is it saying to you? Santharik asked, his voice urgent, his markings glowing a deep orange. Elyss's grip tightened on the console. It wants me to activate something inside it. It's calling for protection, and something about ascension. Jorath stepped closer, his tone sharp. Activate? Captain, that could mean anything. You're talking about an alien construct that's older than our species. For all we know, it could be a weapon. Or a beacon, Santharik added grimly. A signal to summon whatever created it or destroyed it. Elyss turned to both of them, her voice calm but firm. We didn't come this far to turn back. If this thing holds answers, we're going to find them. Captain, Kira interrupted, panic creeping into her voice. The anomaly's field is collapsing. If we don't move now, we'll be trapped inside. Elyss looked at the glowing structure, then back at her crew. Can we stabilize long enough for me to board it? Aboard it? Jorath exclaimed. Are you out of your mind? No, Elyss replied, her expression resolute. If this signal is connected to me, I'm the only one who can make contact. I won't risk the rest of you. Santharik stepped forward, his bioluminescent markings shifting to a bright white. You won't go alone, Captain. If you're the key, then I'm the lock that understands its dangers. Elyss gave a small nod. Prepare the shuttle. We're going in. As the crew scrambled to execute her orders, the structure pulsed. Once more, its glow intensifying. It wasn't just a call anymore, it was a demand. The shuttle broke free of the Ecliptica's docking bay, its engines humming against the turbulent forces of the collapsing anomaly. Inside, Elyss sat across from Santharik, her fingers drumming against her knee as she stared out at the pulsating construct growing larger with every second. Santharik's markings glowed faintly, oscillating between caution and determination. The Vynari have a saying, he began, breaking the tense silence. Those who seek the unknown must be prepared to lose what they hold dear. Elyss glanced at him, her expression hard. I didn't come this far to lose. I came for answers. The shuttle shook violently as it neared the structure, its surface now clearly visible. Jagged spires jutted outward, each one inscribed, with symbols that seemed to shift and shimmer, defying comprehension. Docking protocols engaged, the shuttle's AI announced, its voice steady despite the chaos outside. A hatch on the structure's surface suddenly unfolded, opening into a dark void. "That's inviting," Elyss muttered, strapping on her helmet. "Xantharic, stay close. If anything feels wrong, we pull out immediately." The alien gave a slight nod. "Agreed. But if this structure reacts to you, be prepared for it to probe deeper into your mind. It may not be gentle." The two stepped into the structure, their boots echoing against a metallic surface that seemed to ripple underfoot. The interior pulsed with the same rhythmic glow, lighting a path through a labyrinth of corridors. "This place, it's alive," Xantharic murmured, his markings dimming as he scanned the walls. "The energy signature, it's almost like a heartbeat." Elyss pressed forward, her resolve unshaken. "Whatever it is, it's been waiting for me. I'm not stopping now." As they rounded a corner, the corridor opened into a vast chamber. At its center stood a monolithic device, towering and intricate, its core pulsating in perfect sync with the signal in Elyss's mind. Before she could step closer, the device activated. A deep, resonant voice filled the chamber. "The Keeper has returned. The cycle begins anew." Xantharic froze, his markings flaring bright red. "Captain, this isn't a warning, it's a reset." The chamber trembled as the device's glow intensified, flooding the room with a pulsing light that seemed alive. Elyss shielded her eyes, but the voice reverberated in her mind, clearer and heavier now. "The Keeper has returned. The cycle begins anew." "What does it mean?" Elyss demanded, her voice cutting through the vibrations around her. Xantharic's bioluminescent markings flickered erratically, a chaotic dance of fear and urgency. "This is no ordinary machine," he said, his voice strained. "It was built to reset everything, to erase chaos by wiping out all life. Captain, we've awakened something far worse than a relic." The tendrils of light expanded, scanning the room before converging on Elyss. One hovered in front of her, pulsating with a rhythm identical to the signal that had haunted her for years. "It's connecting with me," Elyss murmured, her breath catching. Then the images came, planets crumbling, stars imploding, and a single consuming shadow spreading across the galaxy. The signal wasn't just a call, it was a command. "It's preparing to restart," she whispered, gripping the edge of the console for balance. "Restart what?" Xantharic's voice rose, his markings blazing white. "Everything," Elyss replied, her voice trembling. "It wants to erase this galaxy and rebuild it in its own design." The chamber shuddered violently, and Xantharic grabbed her arm. "We must leave. If this thing activates, it will consume everything, including the Ecliptica. Your crew is still out there." Elyss turned to him, her expression resolute. "If I leave, it will finish what it started. I won't let that happen." The machine's voice boomed again, relentless. "Accept the cycle. Become the Keeper." Xantharic's markings shifted to a deep, sorrowful blue. "If you stay, you may never come back." Elyss locked eyes with him, her voice steady despite the chaos. "Then make sure my crew survives. Whatever happens, this ends here." As the tendrils tightened around her, the chamber was consumed in a blinding light. Blinding light engulfed the chamber, and Elyss felt herself pulled into a vortex of energy. The monolithic device pulsated violently, its tendrils piercing deeper into her mind. Memories, hers and others, merged into a kaleidoscope of lives lost and civilizations erased. "Accept the cycle. Become the Keeper." The voice roared in her mind, relentless and inescapable. Elyss stood firm, her thoughts a battlefield of defiance. "If this is your solution," she spat, "then it's no solution at all." The device hesitated, its pulsing faltering for a moment. Tendrils of light loosened, wavering as if uncertain. It was listening. "You think destruction is balance?" Elyss continued, her voice rising with fury. "You don't reset life. You guide it, you help it grow. That's what a Keeper should do." Suddenly the tendrils tightened again, their glow searingly bright. The voice responded colder now, almost mechanical. "You defy design. Chaos must be purged." From the corner of the chamber, Santheric's voice cut through the storm. "Captain!" He emerged from the shadows, his bioluminescent markings blazing with urgency. "The device can be reprogrammed, but only from within. You must rewrite its core directive." "How?" Elyss shouted, gripping the tendrils. "Your connection. It sees you as its key. Use that to overwrite its purpose." Elyss closed her eyes, focusing on the torrent of thoughts and emotions flooding her mind. She reached deeper into the connection, past the rage and destruction, to the core of the machine, a flickering fragment of something ancient and broken. "I won't let you destroy us," she whispered, her voice soft but unwavering. "I'll show you a new way." The chamber exploded in a cascade of light, and for a moment there was only silence. Back aboard the Ecliptica, the anomaly dissipated, leaving the void calm and empty. The crew watched in stunned silence as Elyss's voice crackled through the comms. "It's done," she said weakly. "The cycle is broken." In the distant stars, a faint pulse echoed, a promise that balance would now be guided, not enforced. And so, the cycle was broken, but at what cost? As the stars fell silent and the void reclaimed its secrets, one thing became clear: the galaxy would never be the same again. If this story left you on the edge of your seat, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more thrilling journeys beyond the stars. Because out here, in the vast expanse of the unknown, heroes are forged, legends are written, and the universe never forgets.